What if the biggest threat to your heart isn't what you think it is? What if it's not sudden, dramatic, or even painful and it's too late? Every year, millions of people suffer heart attacks. Many of them believed they were fine just days or weeks before it happened. Some exercised, some ate reasonably well. Some were young. Some had no obvious warning signs. So here's the mystery. If heart attacks are so deadly, so common, and so well studied, why do they still catch us by surprise? Tonight, we're going to uncover a story that doesn't begin in the emergency room, but decades earlier. A slow-moving chain reaction, a system under silent stress, a collapse that looks sudden but never really is. And by the end of this video, the question won't be, why do heart attacks happen? It will be, why don't we see them coming, and how can we stop them? Setting the stage, history, systems, and early assumptions. To understand heart attacks, we have to step back, far back. For most of human history, heart attacks were rare. People died from infections, injuries, and famine long before clogged arteries ever had time to form. The human heart evolved for movement, scarcity, and stress that came in short bursts, not for constant sitting, endless calories, and round-the-clock pressure. Then came the modern world. In the early 20th century, something strange began happening. Doctors in industrialized countries noticed a sharp rise in sudden chest pain, collapse, and death. By the 1950s, heart disease had become the leading cause of death in many nations. Scientists scrambled for answers. Early theories blamed fat, others blamed stress, some blamed genetics. A few warned that the entire modern lifestyle was quietly overloading the heart. But here's the twist. Heart attacks didn't rise overnight. They followed a pattern, slow, compounding, and largely invisible. Just like financial crises. Origins. The first cracks in the system. The origin of most heart attacks is not a dramatic event. It's a process called atherosclerosis, the gradual buildup of plaque inside the arteries. It begins quietly. Tiny injuries form in the artery walls. Cholesterol particles slip in. Inflammation follows. Over years, these areas harden and narrow the blood vessels that feed the heart itself. At first, the body adapts. Blood finds alternative routes. The heart works a little harder. Nothing hurts, nothing feels wrong. This is the dangerous phase, the one nobody notices. Just like early debt in an economy, the damage is small enough to ignore, but it's accumulating, and the causes stack up. Diets, high in processed foods, smoking, and environmental toxins, chronic stress that never turns off. Lack of movement, poor sleep, uncontrolled blood pressure, and blood sugar, none of these alone guarantee a heart attack. But together, over time, they quietly weaken the system. The rise when risk becomes normal. As decades pass, the plaque grows. Arteries lose flexibility. Blood pressure rises to compensate. The heart muscle thickens, working harder to push blood through narrower channels. And here's where the story gets uncomfortable. Modern life doesn't just allow these risks, it normalizes them. Long hours sitting, constant stress, Ultra-processed food marketed as convenience. Sleep treated as optional. Warning signs dismissed as just getting older. Medical tests may still look acceptable. Symptoms are mild or non-existent. This is the rise phase, the illusion of stability. But beneath the surface, the margin for error is shrinking. All it takes now is a trigger, a sudden spike in stress, a blood clot forming on unstable plaque, a sharp rise in blood pressure. An inflammatory surge. The system is primed for failure. The breaking point, the heart attack itself. A heart attack doesn't happen because an artery is slowly narrowing. It happens when a plaque ruptures. When that rupture occurs, the body reacts, instantly forming a clot. That clot can completely block blood flow to part of the heart muscle. Starved of oxygen, the muscle begins to die within minutes. This is the breaking point. The pain, the collapse, the emergency. It all looks sudden, but it is the final moment of a story that may have started 20 or 30 years earlier. That's why heart attacks feel so shocking. We only see the explosion, never the fuse.
Fallout damage beyond the moment. Surviving a heart attack is not the end of the story. Heart muscle does not regenerate easily. Damage can lead to chronic heart failure, dangerous rhythm disturbances, reduced stamina, and the quality of life, increased risk of future attacks. Emotionally, survivors often describe a loss of trust in their own bodies. The realization hits hard. This was preventable. And on a societal level, the fallout is enormous. Healthcare systems strained, families disrupted, lives permanently altered. Failed fixes. Why we keep losing so way. With all modern medicine, do heart attacks remain so common? Because we often treat the event, not the process. We rely heavily on emergency interventions, medications after damage is done, short-term fixes instead of long-term prevention. We screen late, we act late, we reassure people too early. And sometimes, we reduce prevention to oversimplified advice without addressing the deeper system, stress, environment, habits, and the time. Just like financial bailouts that ignore structural debt, these fixes stabilize the moment but fail to stop the next collapse. Modern parallels, repeating patterns, and the shocking truths. Today, heart disease remains the leading cause of death globally. What's more alarming? Heart attacks are increasing among younger adults. Metabolic conditions like diabetes and the obesity are rising worldwide. Chronic stress levels are higher than ever. Sedentary lifestyles are becoming the norm. The pattern is repeating on a larger scale. We are running hearts designed for movement and the recovery in a world built for pressure and the excess. The mystery is no more longer what causes heart attacks. It's why we tolerate the conditions that make them inevitable. 3 clear takeaways. What actually prevents heart attacks? Takeaway 1. Heart attacks are not sudden, they are cumulative. Prevention starts decades before symptoms. Small daily choices compound, for better or worse. Takeaway 2. The biggest risks are often invisible. Normal test results and the feeling fine do not equal safety. Long-term patterns matter more than short-term comfort. Takeaway 3. The heart reflects the whole life, not one habit. Movement, nutrition, sleep, stress, and the social connection all interact. You cannot out-exercise, out-medicate, or out-ignore a broken system. Warning and the open-ended thought. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If nothing changes, the system will fail, not because of bad luck, but because of predictable pressure. The real danger isn't ignorance. It's delay. Every year without change narrows the margin for recovery. The question isn't, could this happen to me? It's, what phase of the story am I in right now? Call Tiaxin Natural and the Reflective. If this video changed how you think about heart attacks even slightly, don't let that awareness fade. Share it with someone you care about. Subscribe if you want more deep, cause and the effect explanations that go beyond headlines. And the most importantly, pause, reflect, and you look honestly at the patterns shaping your health today. Because the most powerful way to avoid a heart attack is to recognize the story before it reaches its final chapter.